A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the aeroplane, the pessimist the parachute. Life is not meant to be easy, my child, but take courage. It can be delightful. I learned long ago never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. Beware of false knowledge, it is more dangerous than ignorance. The longer I live, the more convinced am I that this planet is used by other planets as a lunatic asylum. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. The moment we want to believe something, we suddenly see all the arguments for it, and become blind to the arguments against it. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. You use a glass mirror to see your face. You use works of art to see your soul. Most people do not pray. They only beg. Old men are dangerous. It doesn't matter to them what is going to happen to the world. The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Life is a first draft, with no rewrite. Where there is no knowledge, ignorance calls itself science. If there was 20 ways of telling the truth and only one way of telling a lie, the government would find it out. It's in the nature of governments to tell lies. Our prejudices are so deeply rooted that we never think of them as prejudices but call them common sense. We learn from history that we learn nothing from history. Some people look at the world and say why. Some people look at the world and say why not. Success does not consist in never making mistakes but in never making the same one a second time. Now that we have learned to fly the air like birds, swim underwater like fish, we lack one thing: to learn to live on earth as human beings. Liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. He knows nothing and thinks he knows everything. That points clearly to a political career. The things most people want to know about are usually none of their business. No diet will remove all the fat from your body because the brain is entirely fat. Without a brain, you might look good, but all you could do is run for public office. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. Experience fails to teach where there is no desire to learn. The only time my education was interrupted was when I was in school. If at age 20 you are not a communist, then you have no heart. If at age 30 you are not a capitalist, then you have no brains. Hatred is the coward's revenge for being intimidated. A Native American elder once described his own inner struggles in this manner: "Inside of me there are two dogs. One of the dogs is mean and evil. The other dog is good. The mean dog fights the good dog all the time." When asked which dog wins, he reflected for a moment and replied, "The one I feed the most." Write your sad times in sand. Write your good times in stone. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists to adapt the world to himself. Therefore all progress depends on the unreasonable man. You'll never have a quiet world till you knock the patriotism out of the human race. Man is the only animal of which I am thoroughly and cravenly afraid. There is no harm in a well-fed lion. It has no ideals, no sect, no party. A socialist is somebody who doesn't have anything, and is ready to divide it up equally among everybody. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. Our lives are shaped not as much by our experiences as by our expectations. Do not do unto others as you expect they should do unto you. Their tastes may not be the same. I believe in the discipline of silence, and could talk for hours about it. Being a mother means that your heart is no longer yours. It wanders wherever your children do. Choose silence of all virtues, for by it you hear other men's imperfections, and conceal your own. Tradition will accustom people to any atrocity. People become attached to their burdens sometimes more than the burdens are attached to them. Happy is the man who can make a living by his hobby. As long as I have a want, I have a reason for living. Satisfaction is death. Grain by grain, a loaf. Stone upon stone, a palace. When a thing is funny, search it carefully for a hidden truth. A cigarette is a pinch of tobacco rolled in paper with fire at one end and a fool at the other. All progress means war with society. The worst sin toward our fellow creatures is not to hate them, but to be indifferent to them. That's the essence of inhumanity. If you begin by sacrificing yourself to those you love, you will end by hating those to whom you have sacrificed yourself. Do not try to live forever. You will not succeed. Although I cannot lay an egg, I am a very good judge of omelettes. The first condition of progress is the removal of censorship. All great truth first starts as blasphemy. The worst sin is to be indifferent. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. The test of good education is seeing how it behaves in a fight. Heartbreak is life educating us. Beware of the man who does not return your blow. He neither forgives you nor allows you to forgive yourself. Life contains but two tragedies. One is not to get your heart's desire, the other is to get it. The businessman. The man to whom age brings golf instead of wisdom. I like to quote myself frequently and often. It makes me sound much more intelligent than I actually am. You cannot learn to skate without making yourself ridiculous. The ice of life is slippery. My religion. Well, my dear, I am a millionaire. That is my religion. The great secret is not having bad manners or good manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. We learn from experience that men never learn anything from experience. It is not pleasure that makes life worth living. It is life that makes pleasure worth having. I'm an atheist and I thank God for it. Treat a friend as a person who may someday become your enemy. An enemy as a person who may someday become your friend. A man never tells you anything until you contradict him. It is not that I am so clever. It is that everyone else is so stupid. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. He who can, does. He who cannot, teaches. War does not decide who is right but who is left. If a group of beings from another planet were to land on Earth, beings who considered themselves as superior to you as you feel yourself to be to other animals, would you concede them the rights over you that you assume over other animals? Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Those who can't change their minds can't change anything. There is nothing more dangerous than the conscience of a bigot. Just do what must be done. This may not be happiness, but it is greatness. The person I miss most is the one I could have been. Newspaper, a device unable to distinguish between a bicycle accident and the collapse of civilization. Power does not corrupt men. Fools, however, if they get into a position of power, corrupt power. The truth is the one thing that nobody will believe. The secret to success is to offend the greatest number of people. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Alcohol is the anesthesia by which we endure the operation of life. Silence is the most perfect expression of scorn. Don't wait for the right opportunity, create it. Dancing is a perpendicular expression of a horizontal desire. Doing what needs to be done may not make you happy, but it will make you great. Take care to get what you like, or you will be forced to like what you get. Don't lose faith. Promise yourself that you will be a success story. And I promise you that all the forces of the universe will unite to come to your aid. You might not feel today or for a while, but the longer you wait, the bigger the prize. It is feeling that sets a man thinking, and not thought that sets him feeling. If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton,
congratulations on listening to these powerful quotes. Subscribe to our channel for access to all our transformational videos. One of the strongest ways to bring about the life that you want is by writing down your affirmations. Take a moment to post your affirmations in the comments below. Then comment on at least 2 other people's affirmations and impressions. Give hope and encouragement to others as we become one people.